What's up, y'all? How are you doing today? I'm blessed and highly favored. I woke up, right? Oh, hold on, guys. One sec. All right, just they do their little announcements. But yeah, life is good, man. Life is good, but for some people right now in America, it's a scary place. Is it justified? Are people justified in the fears that they have? There's a government shutdown happening right now. People are losing their minds about the welfare program, SNAP, TANF. We got all the deportations happening. There's a lot. People are freaking out about the 3-eye atlas thing that's coming this way, or, talking about it's going to be some aliens or whatever. And yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I would say to some people, they do have a right to be scared. And I've been taking a back seat and just watching, reading, listening. I've been having a whole little full-blown conversation today with ChatGPT. Just trying to get the facts of it all, right? I see you guys in the comments. I don't know about everybody else, but it's cold this morning. Yeah, it is a little chilly. I'm hoodied up. What's going on, Rose? Hey, Binary. Judy. Yeah. So it is justifiable. People got a little bit of fear. But I want to talk about it because now people are shifting blame, right? It's like who you point the finger at. On one side, you got people saying, oh, it's the Republicans' fault that the government is shut down. And then on the flip side of that, you got people saying, oh, no, it's the Democrats' fault that the government is shut down. And I mean, I don't think that it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think that there's any one side that can be blamed because they all got to vote, right? And then you got to take into account when you say, well, they voted against it. The Democrats voted against it. That's the reason why it didn't go through. But at the same time, what was in it? What is that they're voting against, right? And at the end of the day, I will say, this is my gripe, right? I want to be able to say that all of them are at fault, but at the same time, you got to take into account maybe there's some things in there that they don't want money to go to, which is also trying to help the American people. Why don't they want to pass the bill, right? You could say, well, they don't care about Americans, or you could say they care too much about Americans, but the fact still remains that the government is shut down and people are freaking out thinking that they're going to lose their health care or that they're going to lose the food that they're able to get from food stamps. And it's a pretty, I guess, justifiable reason to feel a little worried. I get it. Because there are a lot of people that use that, they use it the right way. There's a lot of people that don't, but there's a lot of people that do. That part right there, you say the worry too much, need to look to Jesus. Yeah, that's real. Like and share this out, please. Yes. Cause this is my cousin Joseph. He says they're voting against keeping all the free healthcare out for immigrants. That's part of it. It's a little deeper than that. That's part of it. And yeah, which I mean, we all should agree with that, right? They want to take millions from rural hospital funds, give it all to migrants. Yeah, that is another part of it for sure. But people are freaking out because they don't know the things that you know, or they don't know the things that I know. And they're like, I don't care who you give it to, as long as you don't take it from me, is the attitude that a lot of people have. And there's a lot of people, we can blame, migrants with healthcare and all of that. But we got to be honest. There's a lot of people that are abusing the system and have been abusing the system for a very long time that are American citizens. It's not illegals that's abusing our system. Let's keep that real. It's literal Americans that live on it. Literally. I found, let me see, where's it at? This little video right here. I want you guys to see this. This is a nurse, I believe. And she's telling the truth. She's saying it. So let me go ahead and get this pulled up for you guys. Share this tab instead. Check this out.
So let me tell you, I work with Section 8 all day, every day, okay? And what really chafed me today is this girl who is a nurse who has turned down several jobs because she would no longer get her housing voucher. She's been on housing for 18 years now, could fully support herself 10 years ago. But because housing was going to buy her a new house and put her name on it, she didn't want to work. So she just worked a little so that she could get her brand new house. And so this month, she's getting a brand new house built for her, put in her name, when this whole time, she had the capability of affording it herself. Just really chaps me. Just really chaps me sometimes. I love all of my people. I will fight for them. But man, you that use the system, ooh, like...
Yeah. And that's a real problem. And there's a lot of that going on across the board. Now, a lot of Americans, right? Think about this. If you're an American that makes, we'll say that you make what is the cap for, well, I know it's different by states, but I think it's like under 30, no, I think a little under $3,000. If you make under $3,000 a month, then you can apply for help, right? And they will give you that help because they're like, oh, it depends on how many people you have, right? And your dependents. And they'll give you that help. And it's literally to help you with food. Now, then you got the other people that are getting housing, that are getting, what is it? It's, I think it's the SNAP benefits is money. They give you money, okay? They're giving you a house and they're giving you money because you can't work or aren't working. It's what it's supposed to be, is for people that can't work, right? That have too much trouble or they don't have the means. But there are people that can work, able-bodied Americans that can get up every single day and do something, right? Even if you're not going to reach the limit of being able to support yourself, then that's okay. I wouldn't have an issue with that. You're not able to do it all for yourself right now, but you're out there trying and you are working the job and taking the hours that you could get, and you still have to get help. We're cool with that. That's we look out for each other in America, 100%. Matter of fact, America is like one of the most charitable nations in the world, if not number one. I think we're number one when it comes to charitability. That's us. But you have people that have abused that because America is so charitable. They'll say, well, I'm getting a free house. I don't got to pay my rent. Or my rent's like $16 every month. I don't got to pay my bills. My bills are this much a month. They give me a voucher and I pay for it all. And I go get food for free. Why would I want to go to work? And you don't realize that you think the government is the one taking care of you. No, it's people, regular people, that are getting taxed. And those taxes are paying for you to not pay taxes. So you can you imagine how dope the world would be if everybody's like, you know what, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do everything that I can. And a lot of people started using less of the welfare system because they didn't need it, right? They just starting to gain more. Even if you're using a little bit, you got to get some food assistance or whatever. But everybody starts drawing back. How much of that money could go towards helping homeless or lowering the cost of living for people? You don't got to tax so much on. It's just, people are only thinking about themselves that are taking advantage of the system. They're only thinking about themselves. And the ones that are freaking out the most are the ones that are taking advantage of the system. The ones that are losing their minds on social media right now are the ones that are taking advantage of the system. There's people, and this is not to body shame nobody or anything like that, but there are people that are dang near bedridden because they've allowed themselves to get so large that they can't even move around on their own. That sit on welfare, right? Get food assistance and eat nonstop, contributing to their health disaster that they have going on within themselves, which they have to have health care for, which they get from the state, that they don't contribute to. They're just taking from. And then are complaining that they're about to be cut off. And what are they going to do? Well, I can tell you what's going to start to happen. is I guarantee you that you're going to start to lose a little bit of weight because you're not going to be able to afford the food because you don't have an income. You're literally taken care of by the government. You're going to get a little more skinny. Might be able to get a little more healthy in that because you're not filling your body with garbage, snacks, and all of that, which is another thing we're going to get into. But you might be able to walk around and get a job. Your health might start to improve because you're not laying around all day just being on social media eating nonstop. And that's the reality. I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, it's those types of people. It's the females that got Section 8 that have been on, like we just heard the story. The females that are on Section 8, they've been on Section 8 for 18 years, 15 years, 10 years, and ain't tried. Like, come on, man. It's supposed to be a leg up. It's supposed to help you out. I can understand if you got to be on it for a while to get there. But it's supposed to be you start to better yourself in the process of you getting the assistance. You're climbing up. You're not sitting, you're not starting to get stagnant. And that's what happens. People become crippled by it. People become crippled by the system because they're like, well, if I got everything that I need, I mean, why do I need to get any more? I could just stay like this and I don't got to change anything. I could just live off of it. Got to stop. Start trying to climb up. Because there's people fall on hard times and they're going to need the system. And the system ain't going to be there. It's not going to be able to be there for them because you have so many people just abusing it, taking advantage of it. You know? Now, when it comes to the illegals having health care, I agree. Right? I agree. It should be for American citizens. But at the same time, I can't, and this is as a whole, right? I can't find a justification to where every single American in our country shouldn't be able to get some kind of food assistance and health care with all the money that we give in foreign aid to all these places. I'm just keeping it a buck. It doesn't make any sense to me that our government is okay with sending billions upon billions of dollars overseas to stupid things, dumb things, while we have Americans working hard, paycheck to paycheck, that really can't afford, to do anything other than survive. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. With all the money that we send across the world, all the money that we give Israel, all the money that we've given Pakistan, all the money that we've given Ukraine, all the money that we've given everywhere, just everywhere. That could have went for housing vets that have been homeless for a long time. That could have went for, Americans to live a little bit easier. That's just, so I can't even be mad at anybody on the left or the right that wants to be upset at the way that our government handles the spending. I can't be upset at anybody that's upset right now about them not being able to fund the welfare program, but are okay. For instance, a lot of these people that sit in Congress collecting their money, like they get paid a lot to what it looks like to a lot of us to screw over the American people. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at any Democrat or Republican that is upset. The ones that are like, yo, you got the people on the right. It's like, yo, we got to stop giving money to Israel. And then on the left, you got the people that are like, look, we got to stop whatever their argument is about money. I can't even be mad at them for being upset about welfare and about healthcare because it just doesn't make sense. You can't tell me that we can't take care of our citizens. Minus the illegals, just take illegals out of the situation. You can't tell me that we can't afford to give every American health care. And this is going to sound crazy coming from me, but free health care. Free health care. I want all of you to do a little homework and look at how much money we've given to nations that don't do nothing for us. Right? They don't do nothing for us. Some of them do little. Like, you can make the argument about Israel with the military and all of that. I agree, right? Israel, I understand. But at the same time, they don't need as much money as we give them. They don't. They just don't. Neither does gender studies in Pakistan or, Iraqi Sesame Street or any of the other stupid things that we give our American tax dollars to. You cannot justify not having every American taken care of. You can't. And that's the problem that we're facing with right now. This is why we're seeing so much chaos and hatred. Really, people are starting to hate politicians. People are starting to hate the American government because they're starting to realize, like, look, hold on. And even myself, I'm starting to wake up to a couple things. It's like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. How are we able to give all this money over here to these people? But we got homeless people over here that are Americans. Some of them are veterans. That does not make any sense to me. How does it make that make sense? We can help out the homeless in another country, but we can't help out the homeless right here in our own country? We cutting off food stamps for people in our country, but we can't. We're cutting off food stamps over here because we can't fund it, but we can fund food for a country that hates us? For people that hate us? I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is, it's kind of crazy, man. And a lot of people are waking up to a lot of things, straight up. So when we talk about the illegals that are being deported. So right now, let's play this clip real quick to show you guys. Check this out. All right.
And deportation numbers hitting record highs since President Trump's return to office. His administration booting more than 515,000 illegal migrants so far. 1.6 million illegals have left the country on their own, with immigration agents arresting 485,000. DHS saying that Trump is set to shatter the U.S. deportation record by the end of 2025.
Okay, that's pretty dope, right? That's a lot. 515,000 illegal migrants deported, 1.6 million voluntarily left, 485,000 illegal migrants arrested, which means that these was people that were committing crimes, right? So first off, that's a ton of people, right? And so many people are affected by this. When we're talking about people being, America being a scary place for people, I know people personally that have parents and grandparents that came from Mexico that have not committed a crime. Matter of fact, I know a personal story right now. I'm not going to get too into it because it's, it's too close to home, right? But there's these two people that have children that are from Mexico, but they came here and had children and built a life and never broke a law, haven't committed any crime, and are terrified right now about being in America because they don't want to be deported and they don't want to, they're going home to their birth country on their own. They're leaving. And I felt sad for it. So it made me look into, if they're provided a way back and how that works. And it's interesting. So the people that are leaving voluntarily, right? This doesn't get talked about in the news, but the people that are leaving voluntarily are, first off, they're given a pathway back to America. So this is to help calm people down that are upset about people, being deported, their family members being deported that aren't from here, that had just lived a good life here, didn't break no laws and nothing like that. America is providing a pathway back for them specifically that have not broken laws, like became criminals other than coming over here illegally or overstaying a visa, and that have built lives over here in America. The government is giving them a way back, prioritizing them above people that came over here and maybe didn't do so well, right? These people that are going back voluntarily are prioritized with a pathway to come back and gain citizenship in this country. And it's not talked about. Neither side is talking about that. Like, you don't hear the Republicans talking about it and you don't hear the Democrats talking about it, but yet it exists. Like, there's a whole, you could just research it yourself. Like, there's people that are set up as soon as they go back over there. I forget the name of it. They fill out a form and it starts the process for them. of being able to go back. Yo, Zach, appreciate you, man. I'm tired of politics altogether. It's caused such a divide amongst all American citizens. We need to bring peace back. By the way, Cash, get your CDL. That's what I do, and there's definitely money to make. Yo, bro, I appreciate you for the super chat and the comment, bro, and you're definitely right. I'm sick of politics too, but instead of coming on here and trying to, I ain't want people to be upset. You know what I'm saying? We do enough of that. I fall into it myself, bro. I really do. I fall into it, and it starts to make me angry, and it starts to make me like, you can see it when I come on here. You can tell when I'm irritated. I get visibly irritated, and I just start kind of going in a little bit and have to reel myself back in. That's why yesterday I didn't do too much. I just stayed off because I'm like, okay, day before yesterday, you got a little spicy, and you shouldn't. You got to relax, bro. Right? So that's why I didn't. But today I just want to bring people, because there's somebody that's close to me that is affected by this whole thing with immigration, and I'm speaking this because there's a lot of people that are also affected. And they feel like, the Trump and the Republicans are the evilest thing in the world because they're doing what every president has done before them. All right. And that's what I need everybody to understand this. Every single president before Trump, right, has done this. Yeah. Biden opened up the floodgates and allowed a lot of people to come through, which was wrong on his administration was wrong. But before Trump's first term, Obama was deporting people like crazy. He was telling people, look, when you come over here, you need to learn English. You're going to be deported. If you came over here the wrong way, you're going to get sent back. And he was firm on that. He spoke like Trump. Matter of fact, he was a little more stern than what you hear Trump talking about now. And then before him, President Bush, the same thing. President Bush was hardcore talking about immigration. You know what I'm saying? And then before Bush, Clinton, hardcore talking about immigration. Hillary Clinton was talking about it when she was when she was a senator, talking about it. Get it out of there. Get them out of here, right? You say, Cash, are you still paving? Yeah, I am. It's rainy, so we can't pave today. So I'm here. Yeah, man, it's like people only get mad, right? Because it's Trump saying these things. Now, is Trump innocent and perfect? And no, not at all. I like him as a president. I think he's doing a fantastic job on a lot of fronts. Some things I disagree with. It is what it is. But I don't know. For me, it's just like you got to look at the good and see where we're headed, because compared to where we were, like you can't help but just be like, yo, I'm so glad that this dude is the president right now. Doesn't mean that everything he's doing is perfect, but when you see where we were and the trajectory of where we're going, I mean, yo, you got to say, yo, God bless the president, because he's doing what he can. Now, we're not going to agree with everything. I disagree on some things, and I don't really like to come on and talk about him too much and throw shade at him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little biased. So if you're coming here and expecting, I'll give my opinion about any Republican. I'll talk my smack, right? Why don't I do that to Trump? I'll keep it 100 with you. First off, number one, it's not that big a deal to me. The things that I do get upset about when it comes to Trump, it's not that big a deal to me. Number two, I'm completely biased because, he did the First Step Act and it helped get me home. And on top of that, the pardon. So I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Do I think he's perfect? No. But it's like trying to get me to talk bad about one of my bros. I'm not going to do it. I'll keep it to myself, and I'll critique him. If I ever talk to him, I'll be like, hey, bro, you tripping. You need to. That's just where I'm at with it. He's like one of the bros in my mind. Yo, you helped me get out of prison and gave me a pardon. So I'm biased, and I'm honest with you about that. I am. I'm biased when it comes to not critiquing him as hard as I would anybody else, right? I talk about the good. I try to stay away from the bad. That's just, I'm being 100% honest with you guys. I'm a little bit biased, right? But yeah, I mean, on the flip side of that, people critique too much simply because they hate him, and not for any real reason. Like even the things that I'm critical about with Trump, it's not enough for me to say, yo, he's bad or he's not a good president. And you got these other people that are just like, he can't do no good. there's nothing that he can do that's good. And that's where I feel like we got to find some middle ground amongst each other, because some Democrat talking points are valid. And that's as far as I'll go with it. Some Democrat talking points right now, as it stands right now, are valid. I'm going to go a step further. Some of the critiques from the right about the administration are valid. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. So I think it's high time that people, I guess, give each other a little bit of grace, right? And there was this brother that commented when I was talking about the Candace Owens thing, right? Then I was talking about that. And the antagonist, what's his name? The antagonist. And at first it pissed me off that he was saying it, but then I understood what he was saying. You know, he kind of scolded me, but also trying to give some correction because I guess he's a Candace Owens fan. But the way that he broke it down to me made a lot of sense. Say, bro, you gotta have a little grace, you know, when it comes to Candace, because we all were praying for you, and there was people that didn't like what you stood for with January 6th. And then it made me think, even though his point was wrong, right? I'm not to shade you, bro, but his point was wrong, because when it came to January 6th, it's like you're talking about me being somewhere, right? Me being somewhere versus me saying things. You know what I'm saying? Me saying things. And pushing hatred towards an ethnicity. Like it's different, but I understand what you're saying. So yeah, appreciate you for making the comment. You say, why not state your truth? I just did. I just did state my truth. Mama Sue, I just love the person you are. So proud of you. Love you too, Mama Sue. Sarah says, at least you're honest, but I agree. There are things he does that I dislike, but it could be much worse if Kamala was in office. Just my opinion. Yeah, exactly. 100%. There's a lot, man. There's a lot of stuff that's just going on. People are freaking out, and I understand it. Like, I get it. And it's justifiable, because the reason it's justifiable is because not a lot of people try to educate themselves on the matter. They only take what people will say, right? They only take what an influencer would say, or an article that they read, or the news, you know, and then they'll leave it at that instead of trying to dig around and go and look for themselves. You know what I'm saying? You say, Cash, the left is only listening to media instead of researching because the hate is strong. Trump is far from perfect, but he is transparent and told us what he would do before he was elected. Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah and no, right? And I'm not even gonna get into it, like I say, because I'll be critical in my own self, you know, but like I say, there's some things that I disagree with that Trump's done, you know, or is doing or hasn't done. And it's totally ambiguous what I'm saying, on purpose. It's not an accident. Democrats hate you, Cash, just for being there on J6, which you're right. Yeah, 100%. I agree. But Democrats don't really hate me. That's the thing. Like, when I talk to any Democrats, they end up loving me. Ain't that something? When I talk to them, they end up loving me, because it's beyond that for me. It's like, I see you as my brother. I see you as my sister, whether or not you're a Democrat or not. The ones that are a little harder to get to will be super far left white liberal women. They're the hardest to get to, because they look at me and they're like, oh my God, he's so handsome and everything, and he's not supposed to be wearing MAGA red, and he's not supposed to be he's supposed to be with us, and I hate him. You know, and I'm cool with it. I ain't tripping. But everybody else, I have conversations with, no matter what color they are or what gender they are. You know, we end up having good conversations. But it's a lot, man. There is a lot. People are tripping. Welfare, the government shut down. And when we talk about the government shutdown, right? And with the welfare, let me go ahead and break this down. So with the welfare, I asked ChatGPT, right? Yeah, Zach, the files, there's a lot. So what's staying? Major federal assistance programs such as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, and Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, are still active. TANF replaced the old Welfare Entitlement Program under the Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, which replaced the entitlement model with block grants to states. They continue under federal law. Many states still participate. So what is changing? What's changing about welfare? There are major proposals in legislation that would cut funding, shift more of the cost to the states, and impose stricter work eligibility requirements. For example, one recent reconciliation bill aims to cut SNAP by about 30% over time. That's not bad, okay? Because there's a lot of people, again, that are abusing that system. It's just a fact. Some states warn that they may be unable to distribute benefits if federal funding or budget is disrupted. Under TANF, lifetime limits, work requirements, and state discretion already significantly restrict welfare compared to earlier eras. So if you're in a state like mine, right? I'm in Indiana. Indiana is more state run than government funded. Like the government funds, I guess, some things a little bit, but for the most part, Indiana, they're separate. So when the government shutdown happened, all them times that it happened and people's cars got cut off, Indiana's was still rolling. You know what I'm saying? I think it might be a little bit different this time. What's going on? I don't know what's changed since the last time, but November, they're saying that benefits might get cut off in certain ways, not as a whole. So what does that mean for people? So if you're eligible now, you're unlikely to see the program disappear instantly, but eligibility rules, benefit levels, and state participation could change. If cuts passed, states may reduce benefits, tighten eligibility, or require more work hours, which they should already do that. Some assistance programs might become more complex or burdensome to access, work first models, more paperwork. For those relying on these supports, this is a period of uncertainty. Changes may come, and you may need to stay informed about your state rules. So again, the people that are just, and again, not body shaming, but we got to be real. The people that are super big and get welfare and go to the store right on the little carts, or matter of fact, some of them can't even go to the store. They send their family to the store to go and buy a bunch of food, bunch of crap, bunch of snacks, bunch of pop, bunch of garbage. And they sit there, they play video games, they're on the internet all day just eating. And then they got health problems. So now they get free health care and they get to go to the hospital. And then they got to, and it's like the government is paying them to keep them unhealthy. So this is another great thing of why the chips and the snacks and all that, it's going away. And I'm for that. I'm already a health freak anyway, right? But I'm for that. I'm for them cutting off the chips and cutting off the pop. And it's not, I know that's not popular. Some people are like, no, it's my money. No, it's not. It's not your money. Okay. It's the people's money that is going to help you to get food for your family, not junk to feed your family. So they end up being just as unhealthy as you are. All right. And it just needs to stop. People need to be a little more conscious of their health, be a little bit more healthy. So, if you're in Indiana, like I said, some things might change, some things might not. The places that you really need to worry about would be like Illinois. Illinois gets a lot of funding from the government for their healthcare program. So yeah, be on the lookout. And really what it means is you're going to have to work. That's what they're saying. They're saying, look, you might not get cut off, but there's going to be more paperwork. You're going to have to go and get a job. Okay. If you've been on Section 8 for over a decade, we're going to cut you off. At some point, it's got to stop, and you've got to be able to stand on your own. This was supposed to be able to help you, to be able to save some money, to be able to put something up for yourself, to work towards getting your credit good, to work towards be able to getting a loan, those kind of things. So it's got to stop. What else do we got? The deportation. That's what I wanted to read to you guys. Government shutdown. Who's at fault? We already know. Doesn't matter. Key takeaways. Where is it at? Okay. So I asked ChatGPT. I said, is the American government providing a way for deported people to come back legally? And this is the answer. I'm going to get to the comments in a second, you guys. It says, yes, the U.S. government does provide a pathway for some people who were deported or removed to return legally, but it isn't automatic. And it depends on a lot on your specific case, how and why you were removed, your criminal history, how long you stayed outside, and I'll walk through how it works. All right. So ways you can legally return. Here are some of the legal mechanisms by which the deported or removed person can seek to come back to the U.S. You can apply for permission to reapply for admission using form I-212. The official page says, use this form to ask for consent to reapply for admission to the United States so you can lawfully return to the United States. Even if removed, you might be eligible for a waiver of inadmissibility under certain conditions for example, if you've been outside the U.S. for a required period or a family hardship or other factors involved. If you were removed and did not have a criminal aggravated felony removal, your wait time is shorter than 5 years. What are the key restrictions? There are some major legal bars and waiting periods you must be aware of. After removal, deportation order, you are often inadmissible for a period of time, usually 5 years, but depending on the reasons, it could be 10 to 20 years or even permanent. So that's talking about the people that are criminals, like the one that is being harbored by Mr. Pritzker over there in Illinois. Yeah, we're going to get to that too. If you re-enter the U.S. without permission after removal, you commit a federal crime under 8 U.S.C. Subsection 1326. There are serious criminal penalties up to 2 years or 10 years or 20 years, depending on the history. And I was locked up with people who violated that and got 10 years. The rules depend very much on how and why you were deported. For example, if you were removed after committing an aggravated felony, the waiting time and bars to return can be much more severe. So basically, if you're a criminal and you get caught, you're screwed. You're not coming back unless you come illegally again, which is going to offer you 10 to 20 years in prison. All right. So what you'll need to do if you want to return legally, here's the typical steps. Confirm your removal status and order. You'll want to know exactly how you were removed, voluntarily departure, removal, deportations order, etc. Wait the required period. Make sure you've satisfied the mandatory period outside of the U.S., 5, 10, 20 years. File form I-212. If you are still barred, you'll likely need to submit I-212 to request permission to reapply for admission. Prepare supporting evidence. This might include evidence of good moral character, family ties in the U.S., rehabilitation, hardships to the U.S., citizens, family members, etc., which will also get it moved up from that 5 years, what it would be normally. There's that. Consult a qualified immigration attorney because of how complex it is and how high the stakes are. Criminal consequences if you re-enter without authorization. Apply for a visa, entry once authorized. After permission, you need to apply for whatever immigration status, eligibility, all of that. The answer, yes, there is a way, but it is not open in all cases, and it involves waiting, application, eligibility, criteria, and often a legal assessment of your case. Whether you personally qualify depends entirely on your removal record, your immigration and criminal history, how long you've been outside, and whether you can meet the requirements of the law. Okay, so they're letting people come back, right? And again, can't stress this enough. You keep on reading on this whole thing. They provide a bunch of different articles. The people that have been here, that have been deported, that have came and they've lived a good life here, they've worked, they've got businesses, they own homes, all of those things that have left voluntarily are being expedited, okay? Moved forward. So they're not going to be in that 5-year waiting period. They're giving them the opportunity to do it, to apply now and start the process. How long it's going to take, I don't know. 4 years, 3 years, I don't know. But it's going to be faster than what it would have been. All right. So that's that. You know what I'm saying? It isn't easy becoming a citizen anywhere. Exactly. 100%. But just to take just to try to take the freaking worry out of a lot of people, because they're thinking they're never going to see their family again. And it's just not that. It's not the case. You're going to see them again if they're not criminals. And even if they are criminals, you might see them again if you go to their country. You know what I'm saying? And I'm keeping it in the book. It's the same thing, right? I don't want people that are out here committing violent acts around me in my community or doing the wrong things to be here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that for anybody. I don't care what country they're from. You shouldn't either. You know? I hope that they get better. I hope that they do better. But I mean, if it's unnecessary, they don't need to be. It needs to be what it is. But to the good people, my heart goes to them. And that's real. My heart goes to the people that work in the Mexican restaurants over here, or the people that own a store that I go and get my tamales from, or whatever. Like, I love them. I love the people that I grew up with that, they have been a part of my life, and I know that they ain't out here doing the wrong thing. I love them. Like, and I hope that, something happens and they get to stay somehow, But yeah, I mean, don't worry. Learn. Start reading these things and understand what you need to do. So when you go and take your family, like this person is doing, they're taking their mother and father, and they're going to be voluntarily deporting themselves. But you have the forms ready. Say, hey, look, we're voluntarily deporting ourselves, but we got these forms filled out. We just want to leave them here with you guys and start the process over again, so we could come back and do it however it's going to be. And those are going to be people that I guarantee you, those are going to be the people that come back first legally. A lot of them, they're going to come across right back over. A lot of the ones that just don't care, they're going to come right back over. You know what I'm saying? I really hope this is not a 18 plus space, because I'm saying, no, we ain't that kind of channel. We're not that kind of channel. You're fine. We ain't saying nothing that's out of pocket over here. Yeah, man. So what else do we got? John Fetterman. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this, man. This is on Yahoo News, which I really try to stay away from, but they did actually pretty good with this little article. John Fetterman he's the man. I got a lot of respect for this guy now. All right. So let's pull it up. John Fetterman urges GOP to use nuclear option to reopen government. I don't want to hear any Democrat clutching their pearls. This right here struck me when I read this. So let's go through it. Senator John Fetterman, Democrat from Pennsylvania, is that Philadelphia? Pennsylvania? It's the same, right? I'm tripping. Is urging his Republican colleagues to use the so-called nuclear option to get rid of the filibuster for spinning bills in order to reopen the federal government. In comments made to the reporters on Tuesday, Fetterman, one of three members of the Democrat caucus to vote in favor of continuing resolutions to form the government at the onset of the shutdown fight, deplored the consequences of the failure to pass it. There are no winners here. It's not getting any better every day here. People are going to start to get really hungry, and I've been fully committed to fund SNAP, which is welfare. Open up the government, said Fetterman, arguing the people need to eat, and that is real. I appreciate him for saying that. That's pretty dope. This is just bad political theater. Open it up, he added. He then said that he would support the GOP ditching the filibuster and thus the 60-vote requirement to end the debate on legislation in order to do just that. They've been talking about trying to end the filibuster, which is crazy to me because it was the Democrats that was talking about getting done with it back like a couple years ago. And here they go now, like they're using it. It's crazy. He said, carve it out for that. Absolutely, said Fetterman. You ran on that. We ran on killing the filibuster, and now we love it. Carve it out so we can move on. I supported it because it makes it more difficult to shut the government down in the future. And that's where it's entirely appropriate. Amen. I don't want to hear any Democrat clutching their pearls about the filibuster. We ran on it, he continued. Every member of the caucus, save for Senator Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, voted to get rid of the filibuster in a failed effort to pass former President Joe Biden's election overhaul back in 2020. Yeah, man. So kudos to Fetterman. This dude's been pretty outspoken lately. Straight up. He's been pretty outspoken lately, and I'm here for it. We need more people like that. More people in politics just coming out and saying what's real. You know what I'm saying? Saying what's truthful, forgetting about party lines. That's a problem in our country, is party lines. We just need sane and not sane, People that vote in the interest of America, and then we could show the people that don't vote in the interest of America. And we're coming to find out that a lot of these people that don't vote in the interest of America are taking a lot of foreign money, whether that be from AIPAC or Soros or whoever. You're getting paid. which is why you don't really care about how Americans are being affected. And for me, that's a problem. And it's another reason why America is a very scary place right now. America is a very scary place right now because we've never had this much transparency. We never had Doge coming out and showing all the corrupt spending, the careless spending. We never had a president coming out and telling them like it is, saying, hey, look, these people over here, they dirty. They dirty. We never had the internet to be a place where so many people can throw out a whole bunch of information at once and millions of people see it. I wasn't aware of how deeply embedded AIPAC, actually is on top of other foreign entities that influence American politics. People are all hung up just on Israel. No, it's deeper than Israel. It's deeper than just AIPAC. This is just the thing that I guess people are hyper focused on is Israel, but it's deeper than all of that. There's a lot of foreign entities, a lot of people that have foreign interests that are donating or giving money, lobbying, however, to our politicians. And we wonder why. We wonder why, things are the way that they are. We wonder why there's so much distrust in our system right now. It's pretty bad, straight up. So should you be scared in America? No, don't be scared. And I'm going to tell you why. Tie it all in. Why you shouldn't be scared. Because if you're a believer and you got faith and you already know that it's supposed to get bad before it gets better, not saying that it's going to get completely just, like full-blown tribulation. But in some places in the world, they suffering a lot worse. For instance, let's throw out something that doesn't get talked about enough. I'm taking a jab at both sides here, the left and the right. Where's all the influencers is really who I'm talking to. Where is all the pro-Palestine or pro-Israel people that were so adamant about talking about these two, or the Ukraine and the Russia? Where are y'all at while there's Christians being just annihilated, right? In Nigeria. It's crazy. When you watch the videos that I've been watching and then look it up to see how many people have actually died, and then you see the counter of that, you'll see some people in Nigeria saying, no, this isn't even happening. This isn't a real thing. And guess what? They're all Muslims. The ones that are saying it's not true are Muslims that aren't being affected by it. If you're a Christian and a Nigerian, they are literally, they're burning churches down. They are taking the lives of people, women, children, men, elderly, and it's not talked about. Yet we got a person with that kind of ideology that feels like those types of things that are okay. Zorhan Mamdani, whatever his name is, he's about to be elected over there in New York. You guys are about to have a full-blown communist in New York that has the same ideology as the people that are taking the lives of Christians. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, child, man, kid, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. As long as you're a Christian, bro, they're taking their lives over there. And ain't nobody talking about it. And you got a guy that's about to take all the same with what's her name? Ilhan Omar. These are the things that people should be concerned about. Leadership roles in America are being sought after by people that don't have an American agenda on their mind. People that have a more, I'm just going to call it what it is, a more anti-Christ mindset. And that's me keeping it plain. And you can say, well, Cash, this is America, freedom of religion. And I agree, freedom of religion. But when you got somebody that's running talking about we're going to make things for Muslims happen over here in this country, bro, I'm not for that. Nothing against my Muslim brothers and sisters. If you're a peaceful, America loving, it's nothing against you at all. But for the people that got jihad on the mind, that are trying to run and take office, like, yo, everybody should be worried. You should be worried in the sense of that kind of change happening. Not worried like for your life or whatever, but just know that life is going to change around you. You're going to start seeing things shift a bit. People being put a little higher up on a totem pole. And this isn't about race, right? Even though, we got some racists in America for sure. This isn't about Democrat, Republican. No, it's shifting. It is shifting. Even class, like the classism thing, that's always been an argument, and I've been a proponent of, right? The classism. But now we're seeing a shift, bro. It's like a holy thing going on right now. Sharia law, Sharia implementation. Not saying that he's going to implement Sharia law, but I'm just saying, like, we're headed towards those steps. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine a world where a lot of our public officials, right? A lot of our representation have more of that kind of mindset? Can you imagine if each state, you see what's going on in Texas, they're trying to build a little community strictly for, Muslim people, which they say that it's not, but we all know it is. They're switching up what they're saying now because of what Abbott was doing down there, right? But can you imagine a world where the leadership changes and you get enough consensus inside of the House, right, and the Senate to be on the same page and saying, you know what? We need to amend some of the things in the Constitution. We need to change it up a little bit. Maybe we need to implement a little more of our faith. Maybe we need to take out that whole separation of church and state thing and make it no separation between mosque and state. Just saying, what if? What if? I feel like we're headed towards a crazier time. And the Bible doesn't look so far-fetched to me when it talks about not being able to buy nor sell and, people losing their life for their faith. It's already happening in other parts of the world. It's just not happening here in America yet. But you got people that believe in that whole jihad, all of that. You got people that believe that are now taking leadership roles in our country. They're for all of that. Then you got some people that will tell you that they're a believer or they're a Christian that don't care nothing about you, don't care nothing about God, don't care nothing. They just save that so they can get the votes, but really are in line with people that adopt that same ideology. And let me just make this very clear. The God that we serve as believers is not the same God as the Jews. It's not the same God as the Muslims. As much as we want to believe that, I wanted to believe it too, right? They're looking for the same God. The people that are a part of those religions, they are looking for the same God that we say that we serve, the creator of all, right? But they're not. And they want two different things, So when we talk about the Abrahamic faiths, they're not Abrahamic faiths just because Abraham is mentioned in all three. No, they're not. If it ain't Christ, and don't get super butthurt by this, everybody. If the Bible's clear on this, if they don't profess Christ, then they ain't got God. The Jews don't profess Christ, right? The Muslims don't profess Christ. Well, they say, well, we do. He's a prophet. No, he's literally God in the flesh, okay? And on the other side, they say it. So brings you into that whole Revelation verse that people try to talk about when they say, to those who say that they are Jews and are not. I don't think that that's talking about, the Israelis or whatever. I think that that's strictly talking about Jews that reject Christ. Those who say that they are Jews and are not. Because let's be real. Jesus, he's an Israelite. All the apostles, Israelites. Okay? Let's keep it a buck. They're Israelites. You know what set the disciples apart from the Pharisees? They believed every single thing that Christ said and walked accordingly. So to those who say that they are Jews and are not, for me, it doesn't apply to, all the people that say that they're Jews. Like, that's not it. That's not what I think it means. I think he's talking to the people that if they were, this is the way I interpret it. If they were truly Jews, they would have recognized their Messiah. A person that was truly being a practicing Jew at that time, they would have recognized the Messiah like so many others did. Like the countless Jews that lost their lives from the time Christ ascended to the throne. Okay? A lot of them lost their lives. There's a whole book of martyrs you can go and read. Those are the true Jews, as far as I'm concerned. That's my interpretation. I could be wrong, but a true Jew points to Christ. That's the way that I look at it. All right. And you could get mad about it if you want to, but that's it. So please understand that the Judaism of, the how do I put it? The secular or Talmudist, or I guess that's how I would say it. The people that reject Christ, that are a part of that faith. Yeah. They're not there yet. They're not true Jews yet. They become a true Jew when they point to Christ. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Beyond all of that, you guys, I'm getting a little carried away. We've been going for a little while now. I didn't even mean to be on here this long. I love you guys, all of y'all, whoever you are, whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Jew, atheist, Satanist, I don't care. I love you. I'm praying for you. I want the best for you. I want to see you do great things in the world, and I want to see you end up coming to Christ. We all got some work to do. I'm a sinner. You're a sinner. None of us got it right, but we're trying. That's the whole thing, is to keep trying. And in trying, we had these kind of conversations, and, that's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Don't be offended. I love you. Okay. Okay. There's that. And then one last thing. I got to say thank you again. So let's pull this up. Share this tab. I got to say thank you to everybody. Right there. All right. So staying with KOK Visuals. We are at $1,090. All right. $1,090. I appreciate all of you guys that have donated. Let me go ahead and read this. Let me read this to you. And this is me right here, right? I did my best to write. I'm not a real good writer. I'm a good talker, orator, but yeah, I can't write for crap. Had a little help. So it says, after not being able to find a job in the aftermath of January 6th, which, by the way, I got a job. All right. I'm paving roads just right now. It's raining outside. And I'm going to get my CDL, everybody. If you haven't heard, tomorrow, what's today? Wednesday? Friday, I go for my CDL admissions into Drive Code. Yeah, so I'll be having a CDL and be taking on some driving jobs. But when I wrote this, I still didn't have a job, and it was hard. In the aftermath of January 6th, this isn't about just getting my life back on track. It's about proving to myself and everyone else who doubted me that I can make something out of nothing. KOK Visuals isn't just my business idea, it's my escape route. A way for me to reclaim control over my life after feeling so powerless in other areas. But starting from scratch means hitting brick walls financially. Buying the right camera equipment is crucial not only for professional quality, but also because I believe strongly that if we want things done well, then they have to be done by people who truly understand what it's like to start from the bottom with limited resources. People who might feel just as lost in this digital age of cameras and editing software. I remember vividly feeling dejected when yet another employee refused to call me back due to my involvement in January 6, 2021. But instead of feeling like giving up on myself or my passion for storytelling through video, I decided to go all in with KOK Visuals. It's just not about making money. It's a mission now, a way to empower those who feel powerless in the face of adversity and bureaucracy. And there's a lot of J6s that feel the exact same way, which is why I said that. Purchasing professional equipment isn't cheap, especially when you need quality gear that can handle both low light conditions, like we often experience during indoor events, and high resolution shoots, which is essential for making my services stand out from others who might not have such advanced tools at their disposal. That's why I'm reaching out to all of you, because every little bit helps when it comes to turning a dream into reality. If donating becomes something that you can do, and trust in me as an entrepreneur, please know that your investment will be fueling the journey not just for myself, but potentially others too. Imagine KOK Visuals growing into something big enough to where we can employ people who might have been at a crossroads similar to mine. Isn't that a powerful cycle of redemption? So here I am, standing on a new path with hope in my heart and a camera bag over my shoulder. If you've ever felt like starting from zero is impossible, or if you want to help someone who knows what it feels like to start from the bottom, but still dreams big, please donate. Let's make KOK Visuals not only profitable for me, but also impactful enough that we can uplift each other too. Thank you in advance for any amount given. Thank you most of all for believing in second chances as much as I do. May our Lord and Savior bless you with the strength to keep pushing forward together. Dreams and dollars. All right. So that's my Give, Send, Go. If you would like to donate. I appreciate all the people that have already, and we've got quite a bit of people that have. So Glow, I'm going to shout you guys out again. Glow, Leanne T, Anonymous Giver, Tina Sherman, Chastity Parks. Where they y'all at? What was the rest? That's recent. Let's go to, we can't show all? Okay, well, I've mentioned every name thus far. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. So yeah, Give, Send, Go, and the title is Stand with KLK Visuals. If you type in KLK Visuals, it just pops right up. So thank you. We've got 16 people gave, 5 people shared, and 4 people prayed. So I appreciate everybody that's prayed. I appreciate everybody that shared. I appreciate everybody that has given. We're going to get there. I'm going to have that camera, God willing, I'm going to have that camera by my birthday. By my birthday, I'm going to have that camera, and I'm going to start shooting. And KLK Visuals, which has already started. It's an LLC, all right? I got my own. It's KLK Visuals, and it's to shoot, film, edit, photography, everything. I'm trying to build a brand, and that's going to be the brand, and it's going to be successful, God willing. I appreciate you guys. With that, I'm going to get up off here. I got to go. Unite, don't fight, be a street light. It's only you can be the change you wish to see in this world, and when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. And thank you guys. I see you all in the chat. I will see you later on today. Peace.